We go again, ready to roll.
After all these years, how do you keep training camps fresh for players?
Keep changing things up. They may be subtle things, maybe drills. The game is evolving, staying up with the times. The three-point shooting game is really evolved into the NBA now. You have the stretch fives compared to years before. So there's always something new. And that's one thing as a coaching staff, all coaching staffs around the NBA are always looking for something new to tweak with their team, and we're no different. And that's what we spend most of the summer on, working with our players, working on something they can change in their game and bring to the table in the fall.
So when the last season ended, there was so much talk about ball movement and what's going on in the league and three-point shooting and how your team had to adapt. How do you personally change to what's now happening in the league?
You have to adapt or you die, Steve. I mean, that's the thing you do. You have to adapt to the league, the way the game is changing. The tricky thing with that is you're not going to make some players into something they're not. DeMar DeRozan is not going to become Klay Thompson overnight. And so the tricky thing is make sure we use the strengths of our players as well as make adjustments, make changes within what you're doing while making sure you take advantage of the strengths of the players, how much they've improved over the summer, how much their game can adapt to what you're trying to do over the summer. So that's the part of that's fun about coaching is seeing where guys' games have evolved to in training camp over the summer and make sure we fit all that into what we're doing. And again, the game is changing. We try to stay on top of the changes in the game. And mainly it's more of a three-point shooting game now. It's an offensive league and offensive game. Coach Stern made that change when he took out the no impeding the progress rule. And so we all have to adapt. When I first got here a few years ago, we talked about defense. Hell, we were 30th. We couldn't go any lower defensively. And so we changed that. We got better. And then it's becoming an offensive game. And, our trick is make sure our offense travels when we play the elite teams, we play the in the playoffs, is making sure whatever system we have fits. And again, we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, as far as and try to be something we're not. So the key is making sure we keep up with the times, but maintain some of the strengths that we have.
You mentioned the need to adapt. There was some subtle roster changes. Do you feel the roster's any more better equipped to adapt than it was last year, or about the same?
Experience-wise, we lost experience, no question. The guys we lost were I don't know how many total years they had experience, but the good thing is we brought in some young, talented players, youth. That's our second unit. It's probably going to be their identity, young and feisty, so to speak. But experience is something they've got to gain, and the only way they're going to get it is to play. And so we're excited about that. The young guys, they last 2 years with Jesse and Stack down at 905, they've had a chance to develop down there and done a good job of growing. So that's what that program is about. And so they gave him some experience. And again, some of our guys, Pascal, he started 38 games. So some of our young guys has some NBA minutes under their belt. And that's why I laugh when people say, well, it doesn't play the young guys. Well, hell, he started 38 games. And so that I don't care if you play 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. If you can help us win, so you're going to be out there. And the good thing is there's nobody. It's time for them to step in and step up, especially with the second unit. And again, trying to figure out who's going to be in the first unit out of that young group, or if we go with CJ. So that's going to be something that we have to look at through training camp.
This certainly isn't the first time you guys have gone into a season a little bit overlooked league-wide, the spotlight on other players and other teams. And, I mean, obviously it's not something that can be measured or quantified, but how much do you think those perceived slights by those guys in that room of yours, how much do you think it helps
Josh, I love it. I love the fact that people underestimate. They've done it every year, and we end up winning, 50 wins. Again, it's not about regular season. It's about us pushing through in the playoffs and getting over Cleveland, so to speak. That's who has been our nemesis the last couple of years. But that said, I like that. I like the fact that they slide us. We should be playing with a chip on our shoulder. With that little team up north that they don't respect or whatever, and we got to earn that and get it back again. We did it last year. DeMar took whatever that ranking was. I don't even know what outlet it was, but and they said he was the 36 or 40, whatever it was. It's not important. He took that and used it as motivation. We got to use I don't know how you go from second to sixth, and you have your same starting unit back. I don't know how they disrespect you that much. So we've got to use that as motivations just to prove to the league and come out with a chip on our shoulder.
Winning 50 games is not easy. You can't take it for granted. If you do, let's say, change the offensive style, do you expect to win more games, 16? What impact?
That is a great question, because that's the tricky part, and that's what I was mentioning to Doug. Changing style of play, and again, it's not going to be a 180, but there's things we got to do and must do offensively to be more efficient. A style of play that's the teams can't sit on sets and sit on plays, which has been the strength of some of our, we're in the top 5 all year. Everybody's, we're number 1 for a long time, number 2 offensively. So, again, it's not totally broke. It's 3 teams in the top 10 in both categories, and we were one of them, us, Golden State, and San Antonio. So, again, it's around the rest of the league, it's a little funny that, everybody looks at last year as a failure. And we did some good stuff, but we didn't get above the team that was in front of us. And, getting an offense that's efficient, that, it has ball movement is going to be our challenge to change and to adapt to. At the end of the game, you're going to have to get the ball to the best player, whoever has it going that night, whether it's Cal, DeMar, Jonas, Serge, whoever that is, and that's the name of the NBA game, is to make sure that in crunch time and so getting that ball movement, getting to them in crunch time is going to be our challenge. We've worked, the coaches have worked. Nick Nurse is kind of in charge of the offense a little bit. So we've been working all summer, coming up with a style of play that really doesn't throw everything out. To throw DeMar's strengths out, Kyle's strengths out, Serge's strengths out, Jonas' strengths out, and to try to look like what the world wants you to look like or thinks you should look like, because there's one Golden State, there was one Houston, and so we've got to be the best Toronto Raptor team that we can be.
Coach, your focus always your team and your players. When you have a summer like we had in the NBA, your neighbors must ask you, people, your family must ask you, when the Boston-Cleveland trade happens, when Paul George leaves the conference, Carmelo just leaves the conference. What do you think the rest of the landscape did for the Raptors this summer?
Well, again, it's the NBA. Those guys still get paid twice a month. The rest of the conference does. So it's not like it's going to be a cakewalk by any means. You've got young, hungry players like we do coming up through the ranks, trying to make a name for themselves. Who's going to be the next star? And that's going to be the challenge for the Eastern Conference, is to see who's going to step up, because I promise you there's somebody coming through that we haven't thought of that's going to be a player. Look at Dragic from Miami. Had a heck of a summer over in Europe in the playoffs over there. So there's always going to be a new gun coming in town, maybe different, maybe it hasn't been named yet. His name may not be Carmelo Anthony or Paul George, but I promise you there's somebody coming up through the ranks, Greg, that's ready to step in and step up and be that next star. And our job, our thrust is to make sure we're ready to compete for the top spots as we did last year, last couple of years, and again, not really worry about other trades and and other teams, we got to make sure, as my grandmother used to say, take care of our own kitchen.
Who's going to be your number 3 starter, and what do you want to see in that position?
That's again, who fits? What guy fits with that group? Norm Powell did an excellent job for us last year, especially in the playoffs. His thing is to be more consistent. He's probably our best attack player off the dribble, getting to the rim with force. He does that. Now his challenge is to make sure he can make decisions once he does see those road blocks and sees the 7-footers coming toward him and ready to make a play off the dribble. And because he has it, and that's what he's been working on all summer, is making the next pass and on time, on target. One thing we looked at in the playoffs, it took our shooting down. Our passes were down here, they were up here, and by the time, and it's seconds, milliseconds, you pass it off a little bit. Now you're there. Now that defense is there, it takes you out of a shot. So we've been emphasizing all summer is zip passes, on time, on target passes. I know it sounds fundamental, but again, it's a huge thing for us and talking to other coaches, the rest of the NBA, is making fundamental zip passes. Because the league is now, everyone's working offensively, but everybody else is damn sure working defensively, how quick they can get there and take you out of it. So that position is going to have to be a guy that fits with DeMar, Cal, Serge, JV in that position. It could, and I've talked to both men about it, CJ and Norm. It could be either one. DeLon Wright may see some minutes at the 3, so because he's a versatile young man. Bruno gives you a standstill shooter. So we're going to look at a lot of different attributes for that position, and then who fits with the second unit.
There does seem to be an enhanced role for DeLon. You mentioned him as a 2-3, as another ball handler. How do you see him evolve, and what do you think the departure of Corey will mean to him?
Well, it puts the laser right on his chest. It puts the lens right on him. It's his time. His thing is staying healthy. It's all his last couple of years has been something. Last year, unfortunately, he got hurt in the summer league, which set him back a little bit. But he made great strides of coming in last year and had some really good minutes in the league. It's his time, Doug. I mean, he's a versatile young man. He's got length. He has size. He's worked on his 3-point shot. He's one of our better passers. And that is a NBA skill that's overlooked. So, but we're looking for big things out of DeLon, and again, the opportunity is there for him.
Coach, I know you've got enough already, but what do you think about athletes supporting other athletes that may bring the athlete on this whole strong?
Talked to so many people yesterday about that, and it's unfortunate that that people can even question whether athletes should have First Amendment rights. And coming from our president, it's hurtful. It's almost like, even though players make a lot of money, they're still people. They're the best of their profession. They have if they want to. That's what the U.S. was built on: protest. I came through the 60s and 70s, and it's eerily getting back to that if we're not careful. And that's what we want to take away the divisive words and let's be inclusive. Whether Canadian, Mexican, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's be together. We breathe the same air. We're here. But again, to say that athletes don't have a right to protest, whatever they want to protest about, now that's a slippery slope too. You got to make sure you're informed. You got to make sure you're standing for something. But believe me, I've seen every form of racial injustice there is to see in every, come from a nice place to a very bad place. It's there, but again, it's so much better than it was in the 60s and 70s. It's not even funny. So let's don't go back to that is my thing. And I applaud the NFL players, the owners that were out there standing together in unity. And again, it's not disrespecting the flag whatsoever. And that's what I told our players. You have the right to your First Amendment, but don't disrespect the country, the flag, even the office of the presidency. Even though you may not agree with him, it's still our president. But that said, you have a First Amendment right for whatever you want to speak up about, and that's what North America is built on, and let's don't lose that.
So you've talked to the players already about this issue?
We had our meeting last night, and we talked about it. Yeah.
What does it say about the league in terms of the memo that they sent out, kind of encouraging players to take a stand? Over the weekend, all the players rallying in support of Steph Curry. What does it say about how far, in terms of Bill Russell, how far they ended?
Well, that's the thing about it. Guys like Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali, they built their lives and careers on that. And I think it's a great thing that the players stepped up for Golden State. Adam Silver, Adam talked to us last week at the coaches meeting about having players have an opportunity to be able to speak and have their First Amendment rights. And he encourages that. And that says a lot about Adam. It says a lot about our league. It says a lot about the NFL, pro sports in general. And again, it hurts to because most players, the majority of players are minorities. And it's almost like, you have a right to go out there and entertain us, but you don't have a right to have a voice or to be able to speak up about something. And that hurts me, and from because I've come through that. I've come through segregation. And it's scary to see the perceptions, just to the point where this player's smart, this player is not smart, this coach is smart, this player is not smart. Numbers don't lie. It's about being the best of what you're doing and doing your job. It may not be the perception you have, but it's getting the job done. So it's hurtful. It is hurtful to see, and I encourage our guys to use their First Amendment rights, and every sports figure or whoever, every citizen of North America to exercise their First Amendment right.
Dwane, you talked about preaching inclusiveness. Beyond that, other lessons that you think can be applied in this situation to kind of help heal the divisions that exist right now?
Well, all of them. I think these are great lessons for young kids. My kids watch television. They saw the unity. They saw the players coming together. And I preach to my kids, you don't disrespect the flag. You don't disrespect your country, the office of the presidency. It stands for something. You respect authority. You respect the work that the policemen do in life. But again, if you feel strongly about something, you have the right to speak up about it. And I don't know if that answers your question, but I think that's the example that you're setting for not only for us, but for young kids also. They're sitting back watching sports, and sports is a great vehicle of making sure we show inclusion and not be divisive.
So Dwane, you're such a strong supporter of the flag and the military, but do you, just to clarify, you don't consider these protests to be anti-flag or anti-flag?
No, not at all. Not anti-flag whatsoever. Again, I think some people may take kneeling that they're disrespecting the flag or whatever. I don't see it that way. Myself personally, I think the unity of holding the arms together says as much as anything, as people pulling together. I wouldn't turn my back. I wouldn't, do something disrespectful. I don't agree with that you do that to make a point. But holding arms, maybe whatever you want, and speaking out, as Golden State did, is our, right, and is what the U.S. is built on.
But did you discuss with your players what you might do as a team during that?
No, we did not discuss that, and not to be a smart aleck, Bruce. If I did, I wouldn't announce it. I let them do that. It's the players' right, or their, if they want their decision to do that, if they want to do that. again, I'm not in a position to tell them not to exercise their First Amendment right.